Kindle Direct Publishing has recently started giving us authors the access to create print-on-demand hardcovers. Today I'll be reviewing the quality of these hardcovers and telling you about the process of creating one. First, I'll talk about what the creation process was like for making a KDP hardcover. Honestly, I was pleasantly surprised when I found out just how easy it really is to create a hardcover through KDP. If you're familiar at all with formatting a paperback book for KDP, it is a very similar process. And KDP has documentation with all of the requirements, so it's pretty much a breeze. I format my books in Microsoft Word, so all I had to do to create a hardcover interior file was take a copy of my KDP paperback file, then just readjust the size of the paper, margins, images, and then tweak a little bit of the formatting to make the file I could use for a hardcover. Basically, everything else is just like making a paperback for KDP though. The KDP hardcovers do have a few limitations that the paperbacks don't, though I hope that most of these won't be limitations in the future due to this still being in a beta testing sort of phase. So first, for the trim sizes, there are only 5 options for KDP hardcovers, and they are 5.5 by 8.5, 6 by 9, 6.14 by 9.21, 7 by 10, and 8.25 by 11. There are also only 3 ink and paper options as opposed to the paperbacks where we have 4. The only ink and paper options for the hardcovers are black and white interior on cream paper, black and white interior on white paper, and premium color on white paper. You'll notice the missing standard color on white paper. That is what we also have with the paperbacks. Also, the page count limits of hardcovers are a little bit different from the paperbacks. So for the hardcovers, they must be between 75 and 550 pages, unlike paperbacks, which, depending on trim size, can actually be anywhere from 24 to 828 pages. Luckily, with hardcovers, we usually choose a larger trim size than our paperbacks, so it makes it a little bit easier to get the page count down. Though I can definitely see this 550 page limit being a problem for some of us, especially in the fantasy and sci-fi sphere where we generally write very long books. So for the first book in my series, the paperback is 298 pages and the hardcover is 253 pages. So very similar, but the hardcover does still come in at a little bit of a lower page count. So looking at some other books, both traditional and indie, it is normal for hardcovers to come in between like 20 and 60 pages shorter than their paperback counterparts. I did end up giving my hardcover pages a much wider margin on the sides just to give it a more premium feel while you're reading, and also to bring that page count up a little bit to kind of stay within that 20 to 60 page range that you see in most other books. And the last limitation for the KDP hardcovers is that the only option is case laminate hardcovers in either glossy or matte finish. So a case laminate cover pretty much just means that the cover is printed directly onto the hardcover of the book and there is no dust jacket or any pieces that come off of the book. So as of now, there are no options for cloth-bound hardcovers or dust jackets, but as this is a beta program, I do really hope that that is something they will bring out soon, as I know a lot of us would prefer that, and I am just really hoping for that. I do also hope that at some point they'll be able to do what Ingram Spark has started doing recently, which is letting you customize the cloth-bound covers by printing images on them. I think this just looks super cool, and it really does give a book a more premium feel, which is kind of the point of hardcovers for a lot of readers. They want a more premium looking book and a more sturdy construction. If I am creating a KDP printing wish list here, I would also like to add to that an eggshell option for cover finishes. But, one more like this where it's kind of satin. It's way more durable, but it also doesn't have the crazy glare that you get with normal glossy hardcovers. Okay, now back to your regularly scheduled programming. All right, so making the cover file for the hardcovers was also very easy. You just do the same process as making a paperback cover, but you need just a little bit more of the background on all the edges because when they make the actual hardcover, I'm not sure if you can see exactly, but when they make the actual case laminate hardcover, they need enough of the image to wrap all the way around and glue underneath this end paper. This is this really thick white paper here. So they need enough of the cover to go underneath here so that they can glue this on top. And you never know exactly how much of it is going to show, so you do need to make sure you have enough of your background to wrap all the way down to the inside on all sides. I could see this being kind of difficult for some people's designs, and that could even be enough to make people want to wait until they have dust jackets, just for that reason. Thankfully, when I created the covers for these books, I had the idea in mind that sometime in the future I'd be doing hardcovers, so I definitely left myself enough background to work with. Now, something weird did happen with shipping on this hardcover with my proof. So I ordered the proof on September 16th, and it originally said it would arrive between the 26th and the 30th. And then the next day it said it would arrive between the 28th and the 30th. until the 19th when it said it would arrive tomorrow on the 20th, which is when it actually got there. Yeah, I'm not sure with the printing and shipping times. Pretty much all the proofs that I've ordered from KDP ever have been printed pretty much the next day after I have ordered them. And when you get your proof, you'll always know when it was printed, back of your book, and see this little page here has print date and where it was printed, which is pretty cool. So like I said, I was not originally planning on having hardcovers come out at almost the same time as the actual book's release date. At the time, KDP didn't have an option for hardcovers, and I didn't want to go through the whole process of doing Ingram Spark because that would have pushed my release date by probably a lot. But then seriously, a week, less than a week actually, I think 6 days before my release day, I see this interesting little icon on my KDP dashboard that says hardcovers, beta. I wasn't thinking about trying it out right away, but then I just got too curious and I had to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning finishing an interior file so that I could order myself a proof and see what it was all about. Okay, so here is a close-up look of the KDP hardcover compared to the KDP paperback side by side. They both look pretty good, and I don't really see any big quality issues with the hardcovers. Mine did come with what I believe is just a manufacturing error about right here. If I can catch a bit of glare, you might be able to see it. Not really. Well, right here, there's just a bit of what appears to be just a little issue with the glossy coating. It's kind of like mattified in that area. So it may just be not as shiny because of the coating, or maybe it was scratched or something during shipping. I'm not really sure. It doesn't appear to be glue. I can't really scratch it off. But yeah, there's just a little bit of a defect there perhaps, but I don't think I've seen that issue on any other KDP books before. Also, upon arrival, the pages were a little bit wavy or rippled. You can actually see it is still a bit wavy and rippled in there. This was shipped to me in a cardboard box instead of the usual plastic bubble mailers that I always get with my KDP paperbacks. Not sure why they did that. I think maybe just the size of book doesn't fit into the regular bubble mailers, but it could have just been moisture from shipping as well. That kind of gave me a little bit of just like a wavy, it's not super compressed, where if you look at the paperback, like it's all just, I have read this one actually, so it might be a bit, but it comes in, it's just like that, and it's just all perfectly flat and compacted. Whereas this one, I don't know, it just has a little bit of like a not perfectly aligned to it for some reason. Okay, so if we take a look inside, the end paper is actually really nice end paper. It is very thick. It's basically like cardstock. So I'd say if I'm comparing it to some other paper type, it seems a lot thicker than some other end papers. It really feels like pretty much like cardstock. And the regular paper that the rest of the book is actually printed on, it looks really good. I think it is the exact same paper as we have in the paperbacks. This could be a touch thinner on the hardcover, but I really can't tell. It's very, very close, if anything. It's the color looks about the same to me as well. And there's always going to be slight color differences, I think, in just different batches of paper that they make anyway. But I'm only comparing the cream-colored paper here, as that is what all my books are going to be printed in. So I can't tell you if the white paper is the same or not. As for image quality, I don't think there's any difference in image quality or print quality really overall between the paperbacks and the hardcovers. So no issues there. Seems fine. It doesn't seem any thicker or narrower than any other traditional hardcover book that you would find. So you can see they bind it with a black and white tape here. Yeah, overall, they seem to be pretty good quality hardcover books for print on demand. So yes, very exciting. I do like the KDP hardcovers. I think they are pretty good quality for a print on demand hardcover. I know some people with Ingram Spark have had huge quality issues in the past, though I believe those are getting better in the last year or two. If you'd like to dive into the world of Alexia, you can check out both Age of the Gods and The Legend of Mendai, which are available for free on my website, linked down below. Also, The Delinquent Crown and The Dormant Titan, books 1 and 2 of my Alexia Legends YA fantasy series, are out now, so you can find the link to that in the description as well. Alright, that's all I got for you, so thanks for watching. Bye!